knock him out in the first or second or third round, I don't care. You know, I know that I want to finish this fight before the judge decision, and that will be by knockout for sure.
I believe he's ready. His submission defense is where he needs to be, but that's not only what I'm bringing. Like, when I get on top of him, like, I'm not just a jiu-jitsu guy who's gonna hold you down. I'm gonna ground and pound him.
I don't care nothing about Forrest. Forrest is fresh meat.
Self-preservation is the most powerful instinct we have. And when you're in there, it's either me or it's him. And it's not gonna be me.
I'm planning for a referee stoppage, planning for a knockout, submission, some finish.
There's only two things I need to know going into this fight. One, that I've done everything in my power to win. Two, that I will not quit.
We are back in Las Vegas, sold out inside the Mandalay Bay Event Center. Beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. I will tell you what, we've waited a long time for this one to finally arrive. UFC 86, the light heavyweight title is on the line. Sold out inside the Mandalay Bay Event Center once again. Hi again, everybody. I'm Mike Goldberg. Welcome to the Ultimate Fighting Championship. Forrest Griffin, Stephan Bonner, the finale of the Ultimate Fighter 1, the fight that revolutionized the UFC. Now, years later, the UFC and MMA is the fastest growing sport in the world. And one of its catalysts is fighting the man for the light heavyweight title who has beaten the Iceman Chuck Liddell not once, but twice. Quentin Rampage Jackson. My partner is always Joe Rogan. We've seen him as coaches, we've seen him as competitors. Tonight, we see him finally fight.
We see him finally fight, and it is a really interesting matchup. Forrest Griffin has grown from his position of the Ultimate Fighter as a contender, or as a contestant rather, to being a legitimate contender to the title. Quentin Rampage Jackson is a monster. He's an incredibly powerful man. He's got brutal knockout power, incredible slams, some of the best slams in the game. Forrest Griffin is an interesting matchup to him. First of all, Forrest has, especially since his loss to Keith Jardine, has adopted a much more intelligent fight strategy. He has an excellent ground game. He moves much more on his feet. He's much more strategic in his approach.
We want to know who you think will win our main event of the evening tonight. You can cast your vote by texting A for Quentin Rampage Jackson, B for Forrest Griffin to 88222. You can also vote online all night at UFC.com. Keep the votes coming. We love when you get involved. Our text voting brought to you by Tap Out. All right, so that's our main event of the evening. Our co-main event is in the middleweight division. Patrick the Predator Cote against the big dog, Ricardo Almeida.
Well, we've got a weird situation, 185 pounds, where we have one of the greatest pound-for-pound fighters in the world at the top, and these two guys are fighting to see who's going to be next in line to fight an 185-pound challenge for the title. Patrick the Predator Cote has incredible heart and vicious knockout power in his punches, and he's taking on a man who is one of the best Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioners in all of mixed martial arts. One of Renzo Gracie's top black belts, Ricardo Almeida. Ricardo Almeida has recently made his return to mixed martial arts. Yep. He was a force to be reckoned with before at 185, and he returns with an even better game now with improved stand-up.
pivotal matchup. You talk about Anderson Silva, pivotal matchup to see who might be next in line for our middleweight champion. Main event is a great one. In fact, this card is stacked top to bottom. Also on the card tonight, a welterweight bout between the veteran of the Ultimate Fighter 1, the ever-improving Josh Koscheck, and UFC veteran Chris Lights Out Lytle, who's coming off a 33-second knockout victory. Once again, our rules of the Octagon are brought to you by Tap Out, an expression of combat known worldwide. Season 2 of Tap Out gets crazier than ever, starting July 30th. 3 judges scored the bout duration, 3 5-minute rounds. Tonight's championship fight is scheduled for 5 5-minute rounds. As always, a 10-point must scoring system is in effect, with the round winner gaining 10 points, his opponent 9 or less, based on effective striking, grappling, aggression, and octagon control. What a night indeed. Our main event of the evening will be available, as are all our fights, in HD. All right, let's get it started. Lightweight division in his first 4 UFCs. Tyson Griffin earned 4 bonuses. Tonight could be another fight of the night as he faces Marcus Aurelio. When it comes to ground fighting and mixed martial arts, it's an age-old question. What's more effective, wrestling or jiu-jitsu? Tonight, Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt Marcus Aurelio and wrestling standout Tyson Griffin aim to provide an answer.
I believe wrestlers have the biggest advantage in MMA these days. I expect Marcus to try to bring the fight down on the ground. His stand-up is the weakest part of his game, and that's why I want to keep the fight.
I'm going to look for submitting him since the first round. Since the beginning, I'm not going to stop him. And if we strike, I'm going to look for knocking him out.
After a rocky start to his UFC career, Brazilian standout Marcus Aurelio got back to the form that he showed in scoring big Japanese wins over Takanori Gomi and Jotaro Nakao when he dismantled Luke Caudillo and Ryan Roberts.
Tonight, I'm going to show that I can strike and I can submit. And after I beat Tyson, people is going to start to mention me in a top contender.
A relentless force in the octagon, who has already taken down the likes of Clay Guida, Thiago Tavares, and Gleison Tibau, Griffin is on the fast track to a title shot in one of the game's most competitive divisions. The only thing left for the Las Vegas resident is to score his first knockout or submission since September of 2006, something he is intent on doing tonight.
I see this fight ending at the end of the first round. I'm going to break him, catch him with a good, clean punch or two, and finish him with some ground and pound. No doubt in my mind that I'm winning this fight.
A third-degree Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, born in Fortaleza, Brazil, now fighting with American Top Team in Coconut Creek, Florida. Marcus Aurelio is the real deal. He's one of the most respected fighters in one of the most respected camps in the world.
Absolutely, and he's been proving with every performance. He looked absolutely outstanding, submitting Ryan Roberts in his last bout. Just came out, guns blazing, caught him, got him on the ground, and got him in an armbar very quickly. 16 seconds of the first round. When, I spoke to Dan Lambert, the head of American Top Team earlier. He said when Marcus Aurelio comes out aggressive, when he throws caution to the wind, that's when he's at his best, and that's what they're really pushing for him in this fight. They want him to be just a wild man. Come out aggressive, come out swinging, and they think that that's going to be his best chance for success in this bout tonight.
He's been training with American Top Team for over a half dozen years. He hails from Fortaleza, Brazil, as I mentioned, also home to Thiago Alves and Wilson Gouveia. He has trained Thiago Alves, Wilson Gouveia before, also home to George Gurgel of the UFC. He's a former Pride fighter who choked Takanori Gomi and now wants to be the man to contend for the title that sits in BJ Penn's house right now. California's Tyson Griffin, just 24 years old. He has 11 in its mixed martial arts career. His only loss was in this building back in February of 07 in a great fight against Frankie Edgar, which, by the way, ended up being fight of the night.
Yeah, you want to talk about a kid who improves every time he's out here. He's got a fantastic personality, one of the nicest guys in the game, and just every time we see him, he adds a new facet to his game. His stand-up especially has looked really outstanding as of late. He looked awesome in his last fight with Gleason Tabao, had a great war with Thiago Tavares, and pretty much every fight he's in is non-stop action. And like I said, his stand-up has really improved tremendously over the last few fights, and that's where he likes to keep his fight, especially this fight tonight. He wants to keep Aurelio standing. He believes that Marcus Aurelio's stand-up is the weakest aspect of his game, and he wants to force him to fight in a stand-up battle.
Tyson Griffin, the only man to ever defeat WEC featherweight champion, considered right now the best 145-pound fighter in the world, in Uriah Faber. That was at 155. Griffin stopped striker UFC veteran Dwayne Bang Ludwig in one round in 2006. So, Joe, he's got the credentials to do exactly what you said he might attempt to do tonight, and that is outstrike Marcus Aurelio and beat him down.
But he's an outstanding fighter, and he's only 24 years old. I mean, this kid has an incredibly bright future. Tyson Griffin is a future Hall of Famer.
Our tale of the tape for this first fight of the night is brought to you by the only motorcycles worthy of being in the octagon, Harley Davidson. There you see Tyson Griffin, 24 years old. Aurelio is 10 years his elder. He is 4 inches taller, and if Griffin wants to outstrike Aurelio, he's going to have to overcome a 6-inch reach advantage owned by the Brazilian. UFC 86 about to get started. And to get our night officially underway, the veteran voice of the octagon, Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live from the Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino for UFC 86. And now, it's time to begin our first bout of the evening. 3 rounds of fighting in the UFC lightweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record of 16 wins with 5 losses. Standing 5 feet, 10 inches tall, weighing in at 155 pounds, fighting out of Coconut Creek, Florida, Marcus Maximus Aurelio. And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record of 11 wins with 1 loss. He stands 5 feet 6 inches tall, weighing in at 155 pounds, fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada, Tyson Griffin. And when the action begins, our referee in charge of the octagon is Herb Dean.
Herb Dean is our referee. Lightweight division. Showcased here for our first fight of the night. Tyson Griffin, Marcus Aurelio, and we are underway. Griffin circling quickly early on. Talk about running back legs. Look at the thighs on Tyson Griffin. He is short, compact, and powerful.
Marcus Aurelio has slimmed down considerably since dropping down 155 pounds. He's a very lean version of himself right now.
And he has that big reach advantage, Joe, we talked about. He's in the black trunks. Griffin is in the white trunks. Griffin has good wrestling, but as you said, he may not try to take down Marcus Aurelio, mess with that Brazilian jiu-jitsu prowess. Fight scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds.
There's a lot of wrestlers, Chuck Liddell is an excellent example, who like to use their wrestling to stand up, to keep the fight standing up, to force their game. Nice right hand by Tyson Griffin.
Griffin coming off a unanimous decision victory over Gleason Tabao. Marcus Aurelio's teammate, who is also on the card tonight. Griffin will fake the shot and deliver strikes or vice versa. Nobody finding the range yet. Good turn on the right cross by Marcus Aurelio. That's what he's got to do. He's got to finish his punches, Joe, extend and lengthen that already large reach advantage.
Yeah, both men are being a little cautious,
Yep.
trying to find the range. Aurelio down to the ground.
Got to watch the up kick.
Aurelio looking to tie him up with his guard here. Tyson Griffin posturing, making sure that he doesn't get wrapped up. Aurelio grabbing a hold of that arm, though. Dangerous position here.
And Griffin is free. Griffin trying to pound away. He's postured up and swinging down. If he gets wild, though, Aurelio can lock up a limb, as you talked about, Joe.
Yeah, he's got to be careful. Tyson Griffin's very strong. He's got excellent posture, as most wrestlers do. So it's going to be tough to catch him in something like this here. But now's the time when he's not sweaty. He's not, you know, later in the rounds, it's much more slippery. Right now, there's much more traction. It's easier to catch him, and both guys are fresh.
Griffin pounding away, scoring points here, midway point of round one. That one connected.
This is a little game of cat and mouse here. Aurelio's got his legs locked around him now. This is full guard.
Griffin, whether in this position, Joe, or on the feet, always swings for the fences. You can see that here. He won his first 8 fights by knockout, TKO, or submission. None of them went the distance.
They see Griffin trying to pull out, and he couldn't, so he postures up instead.
Well, Aurelio doesn't hate being in this position.
No, he has an excellent guard. I mean, he's a world-class Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, 2-time Brazilian champion. Turns it into an armbar. The arm is too deep, though. It's too shallow, though.
Good shot by Griffin,
But he's
in
looking for
return.
things. Griffin is doing a real good job of staying safe here. He's just avoiding the arm bars, avoiding triangle attempts, and just landing some shots. He's already got a little mouse growing under the left eye, or right eye, rather, of Marcus Aurelio.
And they're up.
So some of those shots from Tyson Griffin were effective.
Under 90 seconds remains in round one. Marcus Aurelio, only the second man ever to submit Takanori Gomi, the first star UFC lightweight champion BJ Penn.
Yeah, not only did he submit him, he put him to sleep.
Inside leg kick by Griffin. 1 minute remains in the round. Good combination, left hook, right.
I told you when I spoke to Dan Lambert that he wanted Marcus to throw caution to the wind. Marcus is not doing that.
Right.
He's fighting a much more calculated style. Nice leg kick by Tyson.
And that's allowing Tyson Griffin to get into his groove. He's starting to find the range.
This is what they want. They want Aurelio to charge at him.
Good body shot. Good change in levels. Uppercut.
He attacks him again.
Tyson Griffin changing levels nicely.
Yeah, like I said, Mike, what I'm most impressed with Tyson over the last couple of fights is the improvement in his stand-up game.
Good leg kick. And Joe, that's the thing. When you have superior, not superior, but outstanding skills in a certain area, you got to work on everything else. And that's what our fighters modern day are doing.
And, well, he's at an outstanding camp now. You know, his training at Extreme Couture with Mac Danzig and Ray Maynard and, you know, all those guys he's training with down there. It's just awesome training for him.
Good first round for Tyson Griffin.
Now here's the situation where Marcus Aurelio looking to secure Tyson Griffin and try to lock him up in the guard, but Tyson being very smart here, avoiding all of that, posturing out, landing good punches, and here's a nice body shot that he landed on Marcus Aurelio. And then he followed it up with a stiff jab.
Que é a tua raspagem. Então você tem que trabalhar o tripé. Indo, pode até ir pra chave de pé mesmo.
Thiago Alves in the corner.
Presta atenção.
Proud Brazilians speak the Portuguesa. And Aurelio definitely may, as you said, Joe, want to go into attack mode a little bit more. Celebrity pack sold out. MGM Grand Garden Arena. Jamie Presley here again for the Ultimate Fighting Championship. The fastest growing sport in the world. Tyson Griffin facing his third straight Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu based opponent. His last 4 fights have all gone the distance. Man, I like the way that Tyson Griffin is changing levels, Joe.
Nice leg kick right there.
Good avoidance, first of all, and then he's working the body, he's coming underneath. And that kick absolutely rocked him. There again.
What I really like about his stand-up, Mike, is very little wasted movement.
Yep.
His economy of motion is excellent. It just really shows that he's training correctly.
Again, he tries to work it underneath. He's a short, compact guy anyway, so take advantage of that body advantage. And again, he swings towards the midsection.
He's got to be careful he doesn't catch a knee while he's doing that. Marcus Aurelio hasn't shown any inclination to throw any yet.
UFC 87, seek and destroy. We're headed to the Twin Cities. August 9th, Target Center, welterweight title fight. George St. Pierre, John Fitch, Lesnar Herring, Florian Huerta. Tickets still available at Target Center box office and Ticketmaster.com. Going to the Twin Cities.
This fight has become much more of a kickboxing match, and it seems to be favoring Tyson Griffin. Marcus Aurelio's got to do something to change the momentum of this bout.
Landing leg kicks with very strong frequency. Jab, there we go.
Aurelio's got a hold of Tyson, but it's going to be real hard to take him down. What he's going to probably have to do is pull guard. When he gets a body clinch, I would suggest, if I was in his corner, once he gets a hold of him and he's got his body, just grab guard, man. Grab it and then drag yourself to the ground and try to hold on to him from there. Try to sweep. Try to submit him off your back. You're not going to take this kid down. I mean, it can happen. It's possible, but man, it's going to be a tremendous Herculean effort. And then, you know, it's also possible he might just spring right back up to his feet.
Tyson Griffin changed his approach a little bit for this fight. He started lifting more. He wanted to be a little bigger, stronger than he was before, more explosive, more powerful, because he's going to be at a disadvantage with the reach. So what does he do? Gets himself stronger so he can't be controlled in this position. Powerful kid again, and I mean, you can see just the strength in his legs.
Yeah, he's all legs.
That's a rock-solid foundation.
He has a huge scar over the left side of his back where it looks like he tore a lat muscle or something like that at one point. Some sort of a surgery that he's had, but it doesn't seem to impair his fighting at all.
Aurelio.
There you can see on that left side that scar that I was talking about. And now he's got Aurelio down.
Good takedown. Griffin waited for his opportunity.
And he has a very solid top game. He's going to try to pass here. He's in half guard. He's got to be careful. Aurelio has a hold of his leg, and Aurelio's going to use it to try to sweep. He's got that leg up high, and Tyson's down. But look how quickly the kid gets back to his feet. Aurelio's on his back here, though.
I mean, in addition to everything,
careful game of cat and mouse here.
In addition to everything else we've said about Tyson Griffin, he's very athletic. He's a tremendous athlete.
He's pulling him to his back. He's got to be careful here, though. Tyson's going to roll over and be on top of him.
Plenty of time for which to work for both men here in round two.
Yeah. He had a good position, but he lost it.
Working the midsection.
Tyson back on top again.
Aurelio trying to control the head. He can't very long, and as you see, Tyson Griffin trying to posture up. Watch out.
Triangle.
Can he sink it? Nope.
Omoplata. But he lost it there and hit him with a little up kick. But Tyson landed a couple punches in the meanwhile.
Well, when he was really teeing off Tyson Griffin in round one, Joe, Aurelio kept waiting for an opportunity to try to work a submission.
He's in a position here where he can use the rubber guard if he uses it correctly, but he's holding it the wrong way. He's holding it with the palm facing outward instead of towards him, where he wants to cup his ankle underneath with the wrist. That's it creates much less space, and it secures the upper body of Tyson Griffin much better.
Griffin has done an outstanding job of staying postured up.
He's in a position where Griffin is in danger a lot. He's in a position where he's very close to danger. But to his credit, he's been able to avoid it, and Marcus Aurelio has not been able to capitalize. But Aurelio has his posture broken down, and he's got a high guard here with one or two arms trapped occasionally. It's very difficult right now, though, being the second round. They're covered in sweat.
And Griffin looks as fresh as he did at the beginning of the fight.
Kid's in awesome shape.
Chris Angel, huge fan.
Sully from Godsmack to the right of him, the left of him, rather. They give Chris Angel his props, but not Sully? How dare they? Here you see he's
I wanted to let you do Sully.
Oh, there you go. Boston natives. He almost had the triangle there, tried to switch into an omoplata, lost the omoplata. But it shows that there are opportunities there. There's something there. He is able to control him slightly, but Tyson Griffin wisely staying out of any real submissions.
Tá bom, Marco Aurelio. Olha só.
And the corner of Tyson Griffin has probably just told him, continue to do exactly what you're doing. So far, so good for Tyson Griffin, defeated just one time in his mixed martial arts career.
Yeah, I think he's going to come out guns blazing in this third round. The kid has awesome endurance.
Multi-sport athlete, began his training in mixed martial arts at the age of 19. Both are very tested. Both have fought a lot of tough opponents. And both would dearly like to move up the ladder and get a little bit closer to a title shot against BJ Penn. UFC 88 breakthrough, Chuck Liddell, Rashad Evans. We're headed to Atlanta Phillips Arena September 6th. Tickets available, Phillips Arena box office and Ticketmaster.com.
There was another nice leg kick by Tyson Griffin and a right hand behind it. He's landed 2 in a row there. Aurelio shoots for the takedown, tries a knee.
Well, you've heard the sense of urgency in the voices of Thiago Alves and some of the other members of the team that Marcus Aurelio represents, American Top Team. So we are both, I think, Joe, waiting to see if he tries to turn up the tempo here.
He's got to do something.
Yeah.
The closest he can. He's eating those leg kicks, and now he's starting to wobble. You see the redness all around his left leg, Mike. You know,
by the knee, yep.
The most success that he's had so far in this fight is when he was on his back. And I don't think he's going to be able to take Tyson down or hold him on his back. So I would suggest him grabbing a hold of Tyson somehow or another and trying to get this fight to the ground by pulling guard.
Tyson's got those shoulders up. He's got the chin tucked in, Joe.
He's winning the kickboxing, that's for sure.
Ducks under and a switch kick. Caught
Good
one
right
there.
hand.
3.5 remains.
Aurelio is very tired here.
Yep. And it's going to be hard for him to continue to take the punishment on that leg. Again, I love when Griffin leads with that left uppercut. Ducks under perfectly.
He shoots again. Yeah, he's just unable to get a hold of Tyson, especially, like I said, now that they're covered in sweat.
Aurelio's in big
Nice
trouble.
punches there by Tyson Griffin. Excellent combination.
250 remains.
Good right hand there. Aurelio is in trouble now.
You can see it in his eyes, Joe. That last takedown definitely frustrated him, the fact that it wasn't even close. And as you said, he's getting just worked in the stand-up game.
And he's lacking the pop in his punches because he's so exhausted.
Both of these young men extremely classy. Aurelio, 16 wins in his mixed martial arts career. Switching it up all the time. Griffin, again he switches it up. Right, left. It's by far the best Tyson Griffin's looked.
Yeah, I mean, like I said before, this kid, 24 years old, the sky is the limit for him. Looks better every time we see him. Just constantly improving. You know, we've seen it time and time again, Mike, with these world-class wrestlers, just, you know, that wrestling dedication, that work ethic translates so well into the game of mixed martial arts. The ability to get really good at one sport and to show that dedication, that focus, just translates so well.
Huge takedown. We saw BJ Penn in his fight with Sean Shirk look better as a striker than we've ever seen. How about Tyson Griffin, BJ Penn down the road?
Yeah, that would be great. No, this is the best opportunity so far in this round that Marcus Aurelio has had. Like I said before, he had the closest thing to success was when he was on his back. Tyson leaves arms in there. He leaves stuff in there. See, he's just got to be careful.
All kinds of momentum can go away real quickly in this game, especially with the submissions.
He keeps throwing that arm, those legs up, looking for an arm. It's just very difficult right now because they're completely covered in sweat.
Under a minute remains in our first fight of the night. Mike Goldberg, Joe Rogan, sold out. Mandalay Bay Event Center, UFC 86.
He's got that right arm locked in. You see how, now Tyson's very smart, pulling out.
Gotta be careful. Trying to get those legs locked. He's got it.
That posture of Tyson Griffin is awesome. See how he just pops it out and just stays tight to him so he doesn't allow him to move too much.
Good elbow.
But every time he throws those punches, he leaves an arm in there. And Aurelio, you know, has an opportunity to grab a hold of something. He keeps throwing those legs up, looking for something, but it's just not there for him.
This is going to be the 5th straight fight for Tyson Griffin that will go the distance. But he's going to walk away with a huge victory. Tyson Griffin, Marcus Aurelio will go to the judges' scorecards. Joe, take a look at our Bud Light fight replay, brought to you by Bud Light, ultimate refreshment, superior drinkability.
Here's some ground and pound by Tyson Griffin. And again, wisely avoiding any submission attempts by Marcus Aurelio in this fight. Marcus kept trying to throw up triangles and omoplatas, and over again, Tyson avoided it. Here's a nice body kick followed by a right hand. His stand-up looked outstanding in this fight. Real improvements in that aspect of his game. And he also showed what his bread and butter is, wrestling. There's a nice takedown, and, you know, interesting that he decided to do that because, like I said, that was the closest that Marcus Aurelio came to catching him in anything was when he was on his back.
So Marcus Aurelio, disappointed, obviously. He could never get the game where he wanted it to be. And Tyson Griffin, an outstanding job here tonight at Mandalay Bay. Bruce Buffer has the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of action, we go to the judges' scorecards for a decision. All 3 judges score this contest 30-27, declaring the winner by unanimous decision, Tyson Griffin!
Certainly a unanimous decision victory. Tyson Griffin knocks off Marcus Aurelio. Here's Joe.
All right, I'm here with Tyson Griffin. Tyson, awesome performance. You know, one thing that really seems to be getting better every time we see you fight is your stand-up. Is that something you've really been working on a lot?
Man, I work on everything, and yeah, I guess this fight, you know, thanks to Elite Boxing Gym over in Vegas, I've been going over there sparring with some little pros. They got fast hands, so you got either no choice but get beat up or get better.
Yeah, outstanding performance, great takedown, great submission defense, and great ground and pound. Take a look at some of this right now, avoiding submissions and just landing a lot of punches from the top.
Yeah, just trying to raise up, get some space to throw big shots. Marcus is a tough guy, man. He's never been finished in a fight, so I didn't want to burn myself out. Landed some good shots, take my time, and you know, come away with the W.
He is a tough opponent and another great win for you. 24 years of age, you've got an incredibly bright future, and we look forward to seeing you again. Tyson Griffin, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much. Party's at Cat House tonight over at LAX.
Great job.
He's beaten 2 straight American top team fighters in Gleison Tebow, and now tonight, Marcus Aurelio. Main event of the evening for the light heavyweight title, and you can let your voice be heard by voting online at UFC.com or from your cell phone by texting A if you believe Quentin Rampage Jackson will win the fight tonight, or B if you think Forrest Griffin will leave the new light heavyweight champion, to 88222. We'll keep you updated throughout the night, pretty even right now. In fact, Griffin is a slight favorite. Our texting brought to you by Tap Out, an expression of combat known worldwide. Season 2 of Tap Out gets crazier than ever, starting July 30th. And crazier than ever is this kid. How good has he been at 185 pounds? Ultimate Fighter winner, Michael "the Count" Bisping. Since moving to 85, he has looked better than ever. First against Charles McCarthy.
And against Jason Day, he was just a juggernaut. That's the Michael Bisping that we knew we could see. And now I think at 185 pounds, we're going to see it a lot.
Well, we'll see him at UFC 89 in Birmingham, England, Saturday, October 18th. The main event will be Bisping, Lieben, and tickets go on sale tomorrow at the National Indoor Arena box office and at thefactory.com. Great to see Michael Bisping here tonight. UFC 86, Jackson versus Griffin, is being brought to you by Bud Light, ultimate refreshment, superior drinkability. By the only motorcycles worthy of being in the octagon, Harley Davidson. And by Bangkok Dangerous, starring Nicolas Cage, in theaters everywhere, September 5th. And coming up later tonight, It is our main event of the evening as Quentin Rampage Jackson faces Forrest Griffin for the light heavyweight championship. Earlier, the champion, Quentin Rampage Jackson, arrived here at the Mandalay Bay Event Center very focused, very determined to once again defend his title. Also arriving earlier tonight, one of the original Ultimate Fighter winners, Forrest Griffin, who faces Rampage Jackson in what is the biggest fight of his UFC career. So tonight we feature the light heavyweight champion, and in just 2 weeks, we will feature the middleweight champion fighting at 205.
The best fighter on the planet.
Anderson Silva!
Free for the world to see. On July 19th, Anderson the Spider Silva, the man who tore through every middleweight he faced, now sets his sights on a stacked light heavyweight division and knockout artist James the Sandman Irvin. And you'll see it live and free on Spike. Plus 5 other great fights featuring Brendan the Truth Vera and a lightweight war between Hermes Franca and Frankie Edgar. UFC Silva versus Irvin, live nationwide. Saturday, July 19th at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, only on Spike.
Take a look inside the locker room of the light heavyweight champion, Quentin Rampage Jackson, who says, "Tonight, I will defend my title." And we take a look inside the locker room of the #1 light heavyweight contender, Forrest Griffin, who has stated clearly that he will not disrespect this opportunity to leave the light heavyweight champion. That fight is our main event of the evening. That fight is later tonight. Of course, from the Ultimate Fighter 1, Forrest Griffin. Another rising star from the Ultimate Fighter 1 is Josh Koscheck, who continues to evolve and impress. But tonight, will he be at his best and turn the lights out on Chris Lytle? When it comes to tucking your chin in and going to war, Chris Lytle is an expert in the art. Tonight, he looks to nullify the very versatile attack of fellow welterweight contender, Josh Koscheck.
I've been battle tested several times with punches and kicks, and I've never been knocked out by it. So I've been in a lot of fights, and it hasn't happened yet, and I just don't see it happening right now.
I know he's never been submitted or knocked out, and this fight cannot go the scorecard. It needs to be either knockout or submission.
If a fighter has aspirations of getting to the next level in the UFC welterweight division, he has to get by Lytle. And more often than not, it's been lights out for fighters like Kyle Bradley, Jason Gilliam, Ronald Junn, and Tiki Gosek. Tonight, the Indiana veteran looks to derail the Josh Koscheck Express and continue his own trip up the 170-pound ladder.
I'm not here to help anybody's career or be anybody's stepping stone. I'm here to further myself. A win right here puts me right up in contention with anybody.
A UFC mainstay with 8 octagon wins to his name, Koscheck used to be seen strictly as a ground and pounder with world-class wrestling skills. But after victories over Diego Sanchez and Dustin Hazlett, Koscheck has shown an ever-expanding array of striking skills. And if he wants to further test his stand-up game tonight, he'll have ample opportunity as he steps into the octagon to take on Chris Lytle.
We're gonna throw some punches. You know, this is a fight. Whether it's a 15-minute war or it's a quick submission or a quick knockout, I'm winning this fight.
Joe, I love this matchup because both men are ready to bring it. Chris lights out Lytle, a true veteran of the sport, 35 wins in his mixed martial arts career. This is his 13th appearance in the UFC, plus his appearance on The Ultimate Fighter 4, The Comeback, when he was on Team Mojo. The turning point, though, recently in his fighting life was losing the decision to Matt Serra as Chris Lytle steps in to the Harley-Davidson prep point and will be cleared to enter the octagon. And that's because that one went to decision. He did not win. And since that point, he doesn't want to leave anything in the judge's hands.
Well, also, he felt like he was being too cautious in that fight. As you see, he is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, very dangerous guy. Off his back, in all positions, he's got excellent chokes, and he has phenomenal hands. Really good, solid pro boxing skills. And, you know, him and Thiago Alves were going at it. That was a phenomenal fight that was very unfortunately stopped because of a cut. Lytle was doing very well in that fight, did not want the fight to be stopped. The doctor stopped it, very controversial stoppage. Since then, he came out guns blazing on Kyle Bradley, stopped him in 30 seconds, and just looked outstanding. I'm really looking forward to this matchup, Mike.
His philosophy now is seek and destroy. 42 Yes, he was the national champion, Division I in wrestling in 2001, a four-time Division I All-American, a member of the cast of The Ultimate Fighter 1 who defeated Chris Lieben on the show. This is a kid who learned his wrestling from four-time Olympic medalist Bruce Baumgartner. But since he has moved out west and trained at AKA, I would venture to say every single day he's gotten a little bit better.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he's a phenomenal athlete. And like we said before with Tyson Griffin, when you get a guy who's really good at one thing, that focus, that ability to get fantastic at one sport translates to anything else they decide to put his focus onto, that he decides to put his focus onto. And he has been putting that focus onto striking and MMA. And his striking has just improved in leaps and bounds. When he was on the Ultimate Fighter reality show, he was basically just a wrestler. Take guys down and punch them, but now he displays outstanding striking skills.
One of the most active UFC fighters alongside Chris Lido. It's his 11th trip into the octagon. He's lost only twice, Joe, in the UFC since the show. He was winning the fight against Drew Pickett, made a mistake late with less than 30 seconds left. That was his one loss. The other, a unanimous decision loss to George St. Pierre. Josh Koscheck is a true factor here at 170 pounds. Our tale of the tape is brought to you by the only motorcycles worthy of being in the octagon. Harley-Davidson, 3 years older is Chris Lido. Chris Lido will give away a bunch of reach. 73-inch reach for Josh Koscheck, just 68 for the man born and raised in Indianapolis, Indiana. Once again with our official introductions, here's Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is 3 rounds in the UFC welterweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record of 35 wins with 15 losses and 4 draws. He stands 5 feet 11 inches tall, weighing in at 170 pounds. Fighting out of Indianapolis, Indiana, Chris Lights Out Lighton! And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a freestyle fighter holding a professional record of 12 wins with 2 losses. He stands 5 feet 10 inches tall, weighing in at 170 pounds. Fighting out of Fresno, California, Josh Koscheck! And when the action begins, our referee in charge of the octagon is Yves Lavigne.
Yves Lavigne. Our referee, Pete Wentz, is here tonight. Going to help host our UFC official after party. Josh Koscheck hopes he'll have an opportunity to be a victor when this one is over. Chris Lido,
ready, sir?
Josh Koscheck. Lido will seek and destroy if given the opportunity. Black trunks for Koscheck, white trunks for Lido, trying to snap that left hook.
Koscheck has really worked very hard on being an exciting fighter, and the only fear in this fight, in this matchup, would be that Koscheck would take him down and hold on to him, but he really doesn't fight that way anymore.
You mentioned Chris Lido is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, but he has had some problems with wrestlers. Most notably, Matt Hughes kind of controlled him. That being said, as you said, Koscheck doesn't depend solely on that anymore.
Lido keep looking for that right hand over and over. He's throwing it.
Lido coming off an absolutely thrilling 33-second knockout victory over Kyle Bradley. Lido, father of 4. He was the judges' scorecards away from being Matt Serra, getting that title shot.
That was such a close fight too, Mike. You know, it was basically, it came down to just Matt Serra being a little bit more aggressive. There was no real domination on either side in any of the rounds.
UFC Silva versus Urban live Saturday, July 19th from the Pearl at the Palms. 9 in the East, 6 in the West on Spike. Check your listings internationally. You get to see the best pound-for-pound fighter on the planet for free. Joe and I will be back in Las Vegas in 2 weeks. Live on Spike. Lido trying to work those kicks. Koscheck came over the top with a left.
Koscheck, just
Look
how
how
athletic that kid is.
Yeah.
He slips, boink, a half a second later, he's back on his feet.
And an avoidance there. As much as the stand-up game of Josh Koscheck has improved, willing to exchange may not be the best definitive game plan for Josh Koscheck. You're talking about Chris Lytle, who was a professional boxer for a while. Now we see
Gotta be careful
a
with
little
the
difference.
Lytle has an awesome guillotine. Well, he's got that hand under the chin. He doesn't have it anymore. He let it go. And he's got Koscheck on top of him. Now, he has been in this position before with Matt Hughes. He survived, and at one point, he actually even swept Matt Hughes. So he's used to a strong wrestler on top of him. He's been in this position before. Lytle is holding on to that half guard, and Koscheck is trying to get his left leg out. He's trying to sneak his left leg out in between the two legs of Lytle and try to pass.
As I mentioned, Joe Lytle's been around the UFC a long time. He's fought 3 UFC champions. Matt Hughes, Matt Serra, Dave Menei.
Let's go, guys, work!
And it's a long road back to try to get to where he thought he would be when he took on Matt Serra. Matt Serra took full advantage of it in the Ultimate Fighter 4, the comeback finale, as he shocked the world, beating George St. Pierre.
Lytle doing a good job so far of keeping Koscheck from passing, but Koscheck here in half guard can land some punches in this position, and some short elbows as well.
Under 90 seconds remains in the first round.
Lytle brings it to full guard here.
Koscheck trying to posture up a bit, Joe, and throw down the elbow as he did there. He's just got a little bit of space that he's created for himself, just Koscheck, which is allowing him to score with the strikes. Trying to get that space again. Lytle has him tied up pretty well.
You hear his corner saying, watch the triangle. Lytle has excellent butterfly guard as well, and he's real good at sweeping people from that position. Right now he's got both butterfly guards, both butterflies in. But Koscheck moving above
he almost moved above the butterfly guard that you talked about and got into the full mount. Lytle able to avoid. 30 seconds remains in the round.
Koscheck spinning to the back. Good job of controlling Lytle, but Lytle brings it to full guard again.
Okay, big shot.
Well, there wasn't a lot of damage done by either man on the feet, so if you look at how this round ended, it might give a slight advantage round 1 to Josh Koscheck. Oh!
Nice hammer.
And finishes with a huge strike.
Here's some ground and pound by Josh Koscheck. Here's a nice right hand that he landed. Partially deflected by Chris Lytle. Now here's the end of the round where he flurried and landed some good hammer fist. Just trying to get something off before the bell rang.
Just moving straight back. You're going to catch him with that straight soon enough, all right? He's got no angles. Don't stand in front of him. Throw your punches, then cut the angle, move around. Let him set up again, pop, 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 okay?
Control. It's exactly what we want, Josh. It's exactly what we want. Just keep on it, okay? Keep on it. All right? I'm going to see the same thing again. Right off the bat. Right off the bat. Right off the bat.
Very nice work.
Control, tightness.
The lovely Ariani, Edith, our entire UFC crew, glad to be here tonight enjoying the July 4th weekend with you. Happy July 4th to all. Josh Koscheck, Chris Lytle, round 2. Both men like to come with the overhand right, especially Koscheck. Let's see if either one connects here early in this round.
Nice kick by Koscheck.
Koscheck had good success when the fight went to the ground in round 1. Lytle, there's that overhand right, swing and a miss.
Yeah, Lytle would really love to turn this into a brawl.
Koscheck the same thing, there he goes. Takes the shot, will he get the takedown? When Koscheck wants to take you down, it's hard not to be taken down.
Lytle turtling up here. Doing a good job of getting back to his feet.
Good elbow over the top of the elbow. Good elbows. Koscheck, very versatile here in round 2, Joe.
He hits
Mixing
an
it up
attempt again,
beautifully.
Mike. You see that? Now he's got his hands clasped. He's got that neck stuck. He has half guard. It's much more difficult to submit a guy with a guillotine from half guard, but it is possible.
It's the second time Koscheck has fallen into this.
The way he's pressed up against the cage, though, what Chris Lytle wanted to do was get his left leg out and wrap it around in full guard, but being pressed up against the cage like that, it made it very difficult.
That gives the man on the bottom the leverage to sink in that choke and finish the fight.
Nice.
Koscheck trying to mount.
There's a couple of nice short elbows there by Koscheck. He's trying to...
Koscheck told me before he's about 80 to 85% stand-up training for well over the last 12 to 18, maybe 24 months. And he's teeing away here in a very dominant position.
Well, he's actually only in half guard, but he's got him stacked up against the cage, and he has such great control and great pressure from the top.
Still can't pass.
Yeah, Lytle is great butterflies, man.
And half guard, as you mentioned, Joe, again.
Good elbows.
Doing a lot of damage. There's a cut on Chris Lytle's head.
A lot of fighters actually prefer ground and pound from the half guard position. They like to hold on to that leg. Randy Couture in particular was one of his favorite positions, to hold the guy in the half guard, press down on that leg, and land punches and elbows from there.
Well, Matt Serra, who's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt under Renzo Gracie, couldn't pass Chris Lytle's guard.
Yeah, Koscheck is cutting Lytle up here. He's getting brutalized.
Koscheck relentless, even in half guard, as you mentioned.
Yeah, this is rough right here. Lytle has got to do something to get out of this position. He's going to get cut wide open.
Koscheck coming off that win over Dustin Hazlett. All kinds of kicks and punches combination to finish the fight. Chris Lytle's in big trouble.
Yeah, he's taking a beating now.
Yves Levine right on top of the action.
You know, the pressure of having a strong wrestler on top of you is one thing, but when he's got you in a spot where he can land these elbows and punches at will, it makes it even more of a horrible situation for Chris Lytle. Can't sweep him, can't get him off you, and you just continue to take punishment.
You know, Joe, I kind of said before, from a dominant position, as you mentioned, it's half guard. It's not supposed to be a dominant position, but Koscheck is making it that.
Yeah, the way he stacks him, I mean, it's almost like he's mounting him. I mean, he's got that knee in there, and that does give him a little bit of distance. It keeps him off a little bit, but Koscheck's very solid. His base is excellent, and Lytle's face is a mess.
65 seconds remains. Lytle's getting rocked.
Lytle's got a hold of a leg. Koscheck spins around and takes full full side control. Lytle back to half guard.
Lytle is cut open badly, Joe.
To Lytle, yeah, oh wow, look at that pump underneath his head.
Nasty. Koscheck continuing to tee off. Lytle trying to fight through it to get to the third round. At this point, he may not make it. 35 seconds. If Lytle makes it to the third round, wow. He still is intelligently defending himself.
Koscheck landing some real good short punches here.
15 seconds.
This is some brutal elbowing by Josh Koscheck.
It's one nasty cut, Joe.
This is a great display of control on the top, pressure and base, and just elbows. Man, that is a lot of blood. That is nasty.
Wow. That's one tough dude.
You're fine, you're fine, you're fine, you're fine, Chris. Let me get your mouthpiece. Mouthpiece. Hey, Chris.
That's going to be a nasty one, Joe.
Right?
Yeah.
I need tight hands, all right? Come out. Work that double jab straight.
Whoa.
You're fine.
Marvin Eastman, Vitor Belfort. No, I know. You'll never give me that. You'll never give me that one.
That Marvin Eastman one was...
I try it every show.
Goat's vagina. That thing was huge.
You said that, not me.
I did say it. Okay, let's take a look at the replay here. Here's... Here's some ground and pound by Josh Koscheck, and it appears like he's in the mount, but he's not. He's actually in half guard, and this is just shows you what kind of base and power that Josh Koscheck has, what kind of pressure he has from the top. And, you know, that head was just a constant target over and over again. He landed elbows and punches. Chris Lytle already had a lot of scar tissue going into this fight, and that, you know, he's opened wide up, in between the eyebrows, above the right eyebrow. I mean, he's a tough guy. I don't think he has his mouthpiece in.
Yeah, you know what? I don't think he has his mouth. Well, I hope he does.
Yeah, I hope he does as well.
Blood in the blonde hair of Josh Koscheck. You see blood coming out like that, you think of Kenny Florian, Sean Shirk. Kenny Florian, a member of the cast of The Ultimate Fighter 1. Losing that kind of blood, too. Lytle's going to be close to out of gas.
Yeah, that's a very good point, Mike. That's a lot of blood loss, and when you do lose a lot of blood like that, it makes you exhausted.
Look at him. I mean,
yeah.
And he's a class guy, man, but it's hard to watch when he stumbles a little bit here. But crazier things have happened. Nice job.
Yeah, nice sprawl, and he landed an uppercut there. I mean, he's got tremendous heart. He's not going to give up. As long as his body is able to keep fighting, he'll keep giving 100% effort.
Well, that's the heart of an Ultimate Fighter.
But with Koscheck having a hold of him like this, it seems like it's inevitable that it's going to go to the ground.
UFC seek to destroy.
Rolling into a Kimura. Lytle is right in front of us, and he's trying to get a hold of Koscheck's left arm. Koscheck pulls it out, and he turns it into a guillotine. He's got it tight. Oh, spun out. Good job of Koscheck by spitting out of that.
And Koscheck gets both legs. Chris Lytle trying to
guillotines are very, very dangerous. There's some space there, though. There's space.
Remember, Josh Koscheck, I mentioned earlier, was in control against Drew Fickett and made a submission mistake late.
They're back in the same spot again now. This is a spot where Josh Koscheck did all the damage in the last round. And he's got Lytle's head penned up against the fence, and he's shoving his shoulder into his face, contorting his face. Now the elbows start dropping, and the blood is already starting to pour out again.
Let's go, guys! As I said, Chris Lytle came out wanting to end it early, but he couldn't, and he has really taken some damage.
Koscheck is aiming at that spot now. Oh, man. Oh, it's just wide open now.
2 minutes and 30 seconds remains in the fight.
Oh, man, it is pouring blood right now. You know, I think Yves Lavigne might seriously consider stepping in and stopping this. This is a
and the thing is, Joe,
mess.
is this position is not going to change.
Not only is the position not going to change, that cut's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger.
Chris Lytle. What guts.
Again.
Father of 4, still in Indianapolis firefighter, training to be the best.
I mean, this is bloodier than BJ Penn, Joe Stevenson right now.
What about Kenny Florian, Sean Shirk?
It's right there, right?
Yeah, pretty close. 1:45 remains in the fight. Man,
Yeah, I
I'll
mean,
tell you
look
what,
at
you gotta love
Koscheck's
Chris.
gloves.
Yeah,
They're
you gotta
covered in
love Chris
blood.
Lytle, even if he loses this fight, the way he's hung in there.
Yeah, well, he has tremendous heart. There's no doubting it.
It's over.
I think Yves Lavigne, I've seen enough.
Step back, son. Step back,
Nope,
step back.
nope, he's just gonna say stand up. Wow.
Wow.
Wow. He said they weren't staying active.
Man, this is like a scene in a movie. Look at the blood on Chris Lytle's face. Are you kidding me?
You have to stay active on the ground, so Yves Lavigne stands him up.
Lytle just took a look up at the big screen to look at the time, and I'm sure also to look at his face.
See if he comes with a big overhand right. There it is. Koscheck looks at the clock. He doesn't have to take any unnecessary risks. He's learned his lesson the hard way in the past.
Lytle swinging. Oh.
He's just out of gas, Joe. He's just taking everything that he has in his heart, his mind, his soul, to try to make something miraculous happen here in the final 30-plus seconds.
Well, the fact that he's kept his composure and hasn't lost heart despite the brutal ground and pound that he's received.
Break! Let it go! Step back, come on!
One more chance. 20 seconds left. Look at the look on Lytle's face. Koscheck would be good to avoid here.
Just moving around and avoiding him. He takes a punch there.
He connected a couple of times. Whoa, what a fight.
Wow, people boo Koscheck, man. People love to hate that dude.
He's not that bad of a guy.
You know, he was exhausted at the end of that round, and, you know, he moved away and just tried to ride it out.
Well, when you're the guy who could have been undefeated going into the George St. Pierre fight, but made a mistake late, you walk away near the end and avoid. Take a look at our Bud Light fight replay brought to you by Bud Light Ultimate Refreshment, superior drinkability.
This is the story of the fight for the most part, especially the story of how it looked, is Josh Koscheck's ground and pound, his elbows from the top, and his control. His base was excellent. I mean, this was a half guard that really looked like a mount almost. Over and over again, pounding on Chris Lytle's face, opening up horrible cuts. And that's basically the story of the fight.
Our Bud Light fight replay. We got the best cutman in the business. Leon Tabbs attending to the cut over the eye of Chris Lytle. Well, the one thing he did was bring it. It wasn't meant to be tonight, though, and it was for that man whose hair, not as blonde as it was when we started. Josh Koscheck. Here's Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for decision. Adelaide Bird scores the contest 30-26. Tony Weeks has it 29-27. And Roy Silbert scores it 30-28. Declaring the winner by unanimous decision, Josh Koscheck.
Well, he knew it. Chris Lytle knew it. And it just became official. Koscheck the victor. His 9th win inside the octagon. Joe Rogan.
All right, I'm here with Josh Koscheck. First of all, Josh, congratulations. Great performance. Very, very tough competitor, Chris Lytle was. Give us your thoughts on the fight.
Come on. First off, I just think it was a good fight. Chris Lytle's one of the classiest fighters in the UFC. He's been around for a long time, so I have a lot of respect for him as a fighter, as a person, and I just think tonight I was just better.
The story of the fight seemed to be your ability to control him and this ground and pound, some brutal ground and pound here. Talk us through some of this, Josh.
Yeah, you know, the game plan, you know, my game plan was to stand, but my coaches etched out the game plan for me, and I executed it right. So hats off to Chris Lytle and his camp. Awesome fighter. You know, I just want to say thanks to UFC for having me back, and my new clothing company, markclothing.com, go visit it.
Congratulations on a great victory. Josh Koscheck, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, Josh Koscheck taking some acting classes, but this was no play tonight. This was for real, and it was a really dominant victory for Josh Koscheck. Overwhelms none other than Chris Lights Out Lytle. Text voting, 20,000 plus, and we are split right down the middle. 50% think Jackson will win. 50% think Griffin will win. Continue to vote at UFC.com or by texting A for Jackson, B for Griffin to 88222. Our text voting all night brought to you by Tap Out, an expression of combat known worldwide. Season 2 of Tap Out gets crazier than ever, starting July 30th. Now he's back again. Wilmer Valderrama, he was with us on our Spike show just a couple of weeks ago, the Ultimate Fighter finale. And tonight in the main event, the coaches will fight for the light heavyweight title. What a great start in front of this sold-out crowd at the Mandalay Bay. Later tonight, Hedrick, the Predator Cote, is back inside the octagon to take on Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt Ricardo Big Dog Almeida. That fight is coming up later tonight, and here is what's coming up inside the octagon, brought to you by Tap Out, an expression of combat known worldwide. On Saturday, July 19th, from the Pearl at the Palms in Las Vegas, Nevada, it's UFC Fight Night Live. The pound-for-pound best fighter in the world, Anderson Spider Silva, has cleaned house in the 185-pound division and now is moving up to light heavyweight to take on knockout artist James Sandman Irvin. Tickets are still available at the Pearl box office and Ticketmaster.com. 9 p.m. in the East, 6 p.m. in the West, and absolutely free on Spike here in the U.S. Check your local listings for broadcast times internationally. Then on Saturday, August 9th, the UFC heads to Target Center in Minneapolis, Minnesota, where Harley Davidson presents UFC 87 Seek and Destroy. UFC welterweight champion George Rush St. Pierre faces his toughest test in number one contender John Fitch, who's undefeated in his last 15 fights and 8-0 in the octagon. Tickets are still available at the Target Center box office and Ticketmaster.com. Available only on pay-per-view in North America. Check your local listings internationally. Then, on Saturday, September 6th, Phillips Arena in Atlanta, Georgia plays host to UFC 88 Breakthrough. The Iceman wants his title back, but first, he must get through the younger, faster, and undefeated 16-0 Sugar Rashad Evans. Tickets are still available at the Phillips Arena box office and Ticketmaster.com. And on Saturday, October 18th, the UFC returns to the UK for UFC 89 at the National Indoor Arena in Birmingham, England. After dropping down to 185 pounds, Michael the Count Bisping has blown through his first two opponents. Now he's set to take on heavy-handed striker Chris the Crippler Lieben in an explosive middleweight matchup. Tickets go on sale tomorrow at 10 a.m. British summertime at the NIA box office and theticketfactory.com. And that's what's coming up inside the octagon, brought to you by Tap Out, an expression of combat known worldwide. No tap out in that last fight. It goes the distance, and a big win for Josh Koscheck. We move ahead to another Ultimate Fighter winner. Joe Stevenson displayed all the qualities of a champion, even in defeat at the hands of BJ Penn. Tonight, he hopes to begin his road back. Fight game aficionados cheered when the battle between submission experts Clayson Tebow and Joe Stevenson was announced. Now it's up to these high-level jiu-jitsu practitioners to deliver in what is expected to be one of the most exciting fights of the night.
Since we both came from a jiu-jitsu background, I see this fight going to the ground and me submitting him in a very beautiful submission.
I'm going to hit him in every position. I'm going to hit him hard. He's not going to get to lay and pray and rest. And then when he's tired and he makes his mistakes, I'm going to capitalize.
Sometimes you learn more about a fighter in defeat than you do in victory. And that was the case in January when Stevenson fell short against BJ Penn. Despite a bad cut, Joe Daddy showed not only his heart, but the heart of a champion. And now that he's back in the octagon, he can feel very confident that he has what it takes to not only get another title shot, but to someday become the UFC lightweight champion.
I want that belt more than anything in the UFC, and I'll do whatever it takes to get it. And Gleason, unfortunately for him, is in my way.
A veteran of over 30 professional MMA fights, Tebow knows all the tricks when it comes to world-class ground fighting, and he has used that vast knowledge to secure victories over Jason Dent, Jeff Cox, and Terry Edom. More importantly, he's earned the respect of his peers, and Joe Stevenson knows he must bring his A game tonight.
For me right now, it's, shake loose the cobwebs from the last fight. Take it out on him.
Hopefully he learned a lot from BJ, and he's going to use that to come as a better opponent to me, because I want to fight the best, I want to be the best, and I want to be the fight of the night.
Gleison is one of the biggest fighters at 155 pounds. It's very difficult to believe the guy makes the weight. He's 5'10", and I would imagine that at fight time he's well over 175 pounds. At least he looks like it. American top team student of Ricardo Liborio, a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Powerful fighter. Not unlike another one of his teammates, Thiago Alves, that similar build, the ability to try to overpower opponents, although, as you well know, Joe Stevenson pretty tough to overpower.
You know, it's an interesting comparison, Mike, because he's like as big as Thiago Alves, and yet he somehow or another makes it to 155. I mean, that what you're looking at right there is not a 155-pound man. He's 5'10", and I guarantee you he's got to be 175 right there at least.
At least.
It's incredible how they do that.
His first fight against Jason Dent at 155 was a unanimous decision win. His first loss at 155 was ironically to Tyson Griffin, as we mentioned earlier. So this whole lightweight picture, Joe, is crazy and convoluted right now.
Yeah, it is a very convoluted situation.
The only thing for certain is BJ Penn is the undisputed lightweight champion. He's here in attendance tonight. Gleison Tibau looking for his 28th mixed martial arts win. Daddy Stevenson, winner of the Ultimate Fighter 2. He was the first pick overall, a member of Team Fuse. Won that as a welterweight, and tonight is a special night for Joe Stevenson because his oldest son, Joe Jr., 7 years old, in attendance tonight, watching his daddy fight live for the very first time.
Well, that's a lot of pressure. I hope that doesn't enter into his mind while he's fighting. He's an awesome fighter, very solid guy, great submissions, great wrestling, and I believe that the fight with BJ Penn will I believe that fight taught him something, and it showed him the highest level of the game, and I think he's going to come out better, stronger, faster, more focused, and I think we're going to see the best Joe Stevenson that we've ever seen tonight.
Well, Joe Stevenson was not one to say, okay, I lost to BJ Penn. He's the greatest maybe ever. I gave it a shot, I hung in, I got cut. Joe Stevenson was ticked off because he feels that he can be a world champion. And no disrespect to BJ Penn, but he has been angry, disappointed, and wants to start working his way right back up.
Well, he's got an excellent opportunity tonight, and we're going to see how much improvement he really has made in his fight with Gleison Tibau, because Gleison is an awesome competitor himself.
Just opened his own gym in Victorville, California. Joe Daddy Stevenson, Gleison Tibau. Our tale of the tape is brought to you by the only motorcycles worthy of being in the octagon, Harley Davidson. Stevenson, 2 years older than the Brazilian, 3 inches shorter. Reach is actually pretty even. But as Joe mentioned, he weighed in at 156. Gleison Tibau doesn't weigh 156 as we get set to start this contest. Once again with our official introductions, the veteran voice of the Octagon, here's Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this UFC bout is brought to you by Zenergy, powered by Zions, the great tasting, sugar-free premium energy drink. And now, this fight is 3 rounds in the UFC lightweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu fighter holding a professional record of 27 wins with 4 losses. He stands 5 feet 10 inches tall, weighing in at 156 pounds. Fighting out of Coconut Creek, Florida, Gleison Tibau. And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record of 33 wins with 8 losses. Standing 5 feet 7 inches tall, he weighed in at 155 pounds. Fighting out of Victorville, California, Joe Daddy Stevenson. And when the action begins, our referee in charge of the Octagon is Steve Mazzagatti.
Steve Mazzagatti, our referee. Lightweight matchup between Joe Daddy Stevenson. Congratulations, has a new baby boy, Max Gleison Tebow, looking to max out on this opportunity. He's 4-1 at 155 after dropping the fight at 170 to Nick Diaz. Stevenson comes out quickly in the white trunks. Gleison Tebow, southpaw stance in the red trunks. Man, the body frame is just so eerily identical to his teammate Thiago Alves.
Yeah, it's amazing that kid makes 55.
He definitely utilized everything he could to get down to the weight. Had no problem. Everybody made weight, no problem. Ready to go. Good body.
Joe Daddy lands a right hand. Gleison's down. Joe Daddy has an awesome guillotine.
Can he finish it?
He's
has
like a
incredible
grip.
Yeah, and he doesn't get it that time, Joe, but his clinching power, his grip, it's just like, you want to talk about power.
Oh, nice pass.
Unbelievable.
Nice pass, and he goes to an over-under, which is the best way to control a guy's back.
Little chess match here.
Gleison is trying to pull Joe Stevenson away from the cage. Joe's back to his feet. That was a dangerous position. Good job by Joe.
Stevenson is known to just have crushing power
nice
as
elbow.
he comes over the top with the elbow. Gleison Tebow with this fight against Joe Stevenson and Tyson Griffin been fighting some of the best in the world.
Gleison dropping down to pull Joe Daddy down to the ground.
You're looking at two of the more experienced lightweights in the world today. A combined 60 mixed martial arts wins, 33 for Stevenson, 27 for Tebow.
Joe Daddy using the cage to get back to his feet.
Joe said he trained more than ever for this fight. July 19th, UFC Silva versus Irvin live for the first time. It'll be live at 9 in the East, 6 in the West on Spike in the US. Check your listings international. You can watch Anderson Silva for free.
Good right hand by Joe. He pulls it to a double. He's got a hold of his body and he gets him down.
Lots of time. Fight scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds.
He's got to be careful here. Joe Daddy's very difficult to catch. He's got really excellent jiu-jitsu and excellent submission defense as well. And he rolls it into an omoplata. Joe's in trouble here.
Gleison Tebow.
Joe's in real trouble here. This is an omoplata shoulder lock. If Gleison can get his legs pinned down, see the way his shoulders contorted here? What Gleison wants to do is get his right leg stretched out and pinned down and force Joe Daddy down. And if he can do that, he's got him in a shoulder lock.
Steve Mazzagatti just asked Joe if he was okay.
No, he's okay.
Said yes.
No, he's okay here. It's uncomfortable, but it's not as bad as if he gets his body flattened out. If he gets Joe's stomach flattened out towards the mat, that's when Joe's in big trouble. Right now, this is just real uncomfortable and a dangerous position.
Stevenson looks up at the clock. Still well over a minute remains.
He's controlling that arm, though. That arm is contorted. What Joe would like to do is stand up and straighten his arm out, pull it out of there. But right now, they're not sweaty enough yet. He's not real slippery, and he's just going to relax and take his time and hope that Gleison either lets go or makes a mistake and opens up a little opportunity for Joe.
Well, this certainly would be octagon control.
See, what Gleison really wants to do is force that right leg down to the ground and flatten Joe out. These are doing nothing.
He's smiling. Yeah, he's smiling.
But he still has that omoplata locked in.
It's back up on the clock again. This wouldn't be a position where they should stand him, though, Joe, because he's got such a dominant position on the arm.
Joe is saying, stand me up, you know, and then, you know why? Because, you know, it's just gamesmanship right there. He knows that it's very possible that he's close to getting submitted here.
So Stevenson is so relaxed, and you had mentioned it earlier, why can't Tebow finish this?
Well, this isn't the place to finish it. He's got to rotate it over.
Yeah.
He's got to turn it over to the position where right now where Joe's body is, it's just twisting his arm back. Now it's more dangerous.
Well, now he's going to run out of time.
But he's got the leg up. You see Joe's leg, that left leg is keeping his body from being flattened out. If that left leg wasn't in that position and he could flatten Joe out and get his stomach pinned towards the mat, he'd be in more trouble there.
That's still...
It's a chess match right there, yeah. and it's, you know, it's a little gamesmanship on Joe's part to say to, you know, hey, let's stand it back up, but...
The attempted omoplata.
This is what jiu-jitsu is all about. Jiu-jitsu is all about once you hold a position, you move it to a better position or you finish it. Now, he's got the position. He's got this omoplata, and Joe wisely turns towards him and relieves some of the pressure and gets his left leg up. And what that does is keeps him from getting flattened out. But it was still a dangerous spot for him. It's a very tactical situation, a chess match, when someone's in a close submission, a near submission like that.
I don't know. Who knows how they're going to call that bullshit on the ground? They could call it to his favor or not. You know what I'm saying, bro? So, you can't take nothing for granted. Got to get out there and get it done. Stick to the original game plan.
Made his pro debut at just 16 years old. Fought for the title in Newcastle, England. Joe Stevenson lost to that man, B.J. Penn.
The prodigy, baby.
The UFC lightweight champion. Crazy Hawaiian, I love him. Joe Stevenson, Gleison Tebow, second round.
Come on.
Tebow. His stance makes it really hard. He doesn't give much to be hit at. Good left. Stevenson, see if he pushes forward and looks for a takedown. Yep.
Immediately. Good job with getting the underhook by Gleison.
Stevenson had an 8-fight winning streak leading into the Ultimate Fighter 2. St. Pierre and Fitch welterweight title, Target Center, Saturday, August 9th. Tickets still available. And log on to UFC.com. We'll see you live on pay-per-view from the Target Center. UFC 87, Seek and Destroy. Tonight's main event for the light heavyweight championship. Quentin Rampage, Jackson, Forrest Griffin. Patrick Cote, Ricardo Almeida still yet to fight this evening.
Gleison drags Joe Stevenson to the ground here.
Stevenson started the idea of taking it down, couldn't take Tebow down. He got taken down for just a moment, though. Stevenson still got a smile on his face. Tebow not really hurting him, but Stevenson's losing this fight. Nice. Ducked under, took him down beautifully.
Stepping over, trying to pass. A nice, very nice pass. I like how he did that. He faked to one side, and then as soon as Joe reacted to it, he went to the other way.
Well, that loss to Tyson Griffin that we mentioned before was Tebow's first loss at 55, and it was a very close fight. And we're seeing, once again, that Gleison Tebow has some serious skills.
Yeah, excellent side control here. But Joe Daddy, oh, mount, very nice. This is a bad spot for Joe Stevenson. And Joe is bucking and trying to get out of this. Oh, Gleison stepping over. That could be a bad big mistake. But he's turned the over-under to get Joe Stevenson's back.
Can he get back to the mount, Joe?
Wow, good control. And Joe's back up on his feet. Man, he had a dominant position there, but he got a little crafty. He tried to get a triangle from the top, stepped his leg over, but that was all the air Joe needed. Joe just needed a little bit of space there to get out of it. But Gleison's got to be feeling pretty good about his game right now.
Gleison Tebow having his way with Joe Stevenson. Midway point of the fight. See if he tries to KO.
Again.
I was going to say, let's see if he tries to counter with a takedown.
Guillotine, though.
Guillotine, though.
And it's an arm-in guillotine.
It is all over! It is all over! Joe Stevenson chokes out Gleison Tebow.
We talked about Joe Stevenson's crushing squeeze power. I mean, he's got an awesome guillotine, and you see it right there. Gleison just so upset. Just got caught. You know, Stevenson's guillotine is so good, a lot of times guys don't realize they're in trouble. You know, they get comfortable being in a position that, oh, he's not going to tap me. Oh, God, I'm tapping. Let's take a look at it again.
Our Bud Light fight replay brought to you by Bud Light, Ultimate Refreshment's superior drinkability.
This is a big part of Joe Stevenson's game is the guillotine. Loves it, loves chokes. Submitted Melvin Guillard. Guillard with it, look at that. Look how he locks it up, man. That is tight. And he just has crushing squeeze power. And Gleason forced the tap. And it looked like his head was popping out, too. Let's take a look at it again. I mean, it just shows you how crushing that squeeze is.
Seizing the opportunity to return to the winner's circle. Our Bud Light fight replay brought to you by Bud Light. Joe Daddy Stevenson, the winner tonight. That guillotine is his favorite move, and he used it effectively to defeat T-Bow here in the second. Bruce Buffer.
I tried to act, I'm like...
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Steve Mazzagatti has called a stop to this contest at 2 minutes 57 seconds of the second round, declaring the winner by tap out due to a guillotine choke, Joe Daddy Stevenson.
Joe Stevenson, the winner. Here's Joe Rogan.
All right, I'm here with a very happy Joe Daddy Stevenson. That's your bread and butter, isn't it, the guillotine?
I gotta take what they give me. Real quick, my son Joey, he's 7. This is the first fight he's ever came to, first one he's ever watched his dad in. Somewhere in the crowd, guys, I love you, Joey. And I want to say thank you to Dr. Patrick. Saved my life. I was hurt coming into this fight a little bit, a little sore. Gotpain.net.
What was wrong with you?
I got a bone bruise, got kicked in the leg. Luckily, he was able to fix me up, man. Robert Drysdale right now has been working with me on my jits. And then my school, Cobra Kai, is opening up in Victorville. Grand opening in a month.
Congratulations on an awesome submission. Joe Stevenson, ladies and gentlemen.
Joe Daddy in front of Joe Jr. wins tonight. All kinds of stars in attendance tonight. You know, the thing about the UFC is the fact that it continues to just grow and grow, and it is truly the fastest growing sport in the world. 40,000 plus have had their voices be heard at UFC.com or by texting us A for Jackson, B for Griffin, 88222. All week long, the so-called experts have been saying rampage, rampage, rampage. Not the fans all around the world. They think Forrest Griffin has a wonderful chance to leave tonight as the new light heavyweight champion. Text voting brought to you by Tap Out. Jam-packed inside the Mandalay Bay Event Center. And now we move ahead to the co-main event of the evening. Ricardo Almeida, back in dangerous, colliding with Patrick Cote, winner of 4 straight fights.
Good knee.
I'm one fight away to have a title shot, so what do you want more? I think I'm strong mentally right now. I know who I am, and I know what I'm able to do. Right now, I can't see nobody beat me.
That's it. It is all over. A triumphant return to the big top.
To fight for the title, you know, like, it would be an honor. You know, I just have to focus on winning this fight, winning it quickly, winning it impressively, and that should take care of itself. Yeah, when I was 15, I started taking classes at Gracie Barra. I've trained too hard. I've dedicated half of my life to this. I just want to come out July 5th and represent Jiu-Jitsu. I'm going to take him down and take the fight where I'd like to take it.
You know, Ricardo, I respect the guy a lot, but, you know, he's just on my way. I don't care if he trained with Gracie or the Pope, or I don't care, you know. The thing is, I focus about my game plan.
Everybody already knows that I'm going to take him down, and let's see him stop it.
It's all or nothing, you know. I want to beat him, and I will.
July 5th?
That will be a clash.
I'm winning.
The big dog Michigan. Born in New York City, fighting out of Hamilton, New Jersey. This man has won 7 in a row, dating back to 2002. He truly feels like Renzo Gracie is his older brother, his mentor, his hero. He named his son Renzo after Renzo Gracie, former teammate of Matt Serra's, and one of the finest Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioners in the game today.
And he's coming out to Creedence Clearwater Revival. How do you not love that? Ricardo Almeida has outstanding jiu-jitsu, and during the 5 years that he wasn't with the UFC, he's done a lot of stand-up training, and it really showed in his last fight. His rhythm looks better, his footwork looks better, and that added facet to his game is really going to help him tonight against a very dangerous striker in Patrick Cote. But as you said, he is one of the top Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioners in all of mixed martial arts.
The big dog, it's been documented before, took a 4-year hiatus, 6 years away from the UFC. He left at basically the top on a 6-fight win streak. His fights, the last 3 before he walked away, were against top 10 guys, but there wasn't the money in the sport that there is now. There wasn't the opportunities there is now. He's got a family, 2 daughters. He's got a son who has autism. Our prayers go out to young Renzo every day. And he did what was right. He accepted the responsibility of being a father first. Now he's able to come back and be a father and a fighter.
Well, he's in a situation like a lot of jiu-jitsu guys that fight in MMA where they run a school and they try to train and fight at the same time, and when the money wasn't there, it just really wasn't worth it to him. But now the money is there. Ricardo Almeida is back.
Ricardo Big Dog Almeida, a Gracie Jiu-Jitsu black belt.
Schön minder ich mit gute Art. Comme les Tchétchènes, le père à Moscou. Manque pas, je suis prêt à aller jusqu'où. MANU, petit de Dortmund. On a beaucoup de problèmes, on pourra pas finir mais pour finir.
The French Canadian, fighting out of Montreal, Quebec, Canada, originally up the province in Quebec City, Patrick the Predator Cote.
That is a dangerous striker right there.
Wow.
Dangerous, tough dude, crazy heart, great aggression, and you know, he's on a roll right now. Knocked out Kendall Grove, stopped Drew McVedries, another very dangerous striker, and he comes into this fight guns blazing with a lot of momentum behind him.
Did not have the most memorable start to his UFC career, and he was 10-0 coming into the UFC, but he's found himself a home. He's found himself a great team. Marc Delagrati, Team Sityotong, Fabio Holanda, and BTT Canada. He made George St. Pierre, David Loiseau. Cote's in a place mentally that matches his physical ability to knock people out.
Well, so oftentimes, Mike, a guy has a bad fight or goes down a bad road, has a bad streak, and never recovers, and then we don't see them anymore. Patrick Cote, he recovered, reevaluated, got everything back in order, and now he comes back improved, better than ever. And he's still only 28 years old.
Prior to fighting, Joey was a soldier in the Canadian Army. In fact, that's when he started boxing. Served 6 months in Bosnia, and just said, you know what? I like this stuff. First, he did a little amateur pancration, realized the importance of the ground game, a little wrestling, a little jiu-jitsu. Here he is with Anderson Silva, maybe in his sights with a win here tonight. Great middleweight matchup. Here live from Mandalay Bay, our tale of the tape is brought to you by the only motorcycles worthy of being in the octagon, Harley Davidson. The French-Canadian, 28 years old, 3 years younger than the American, Ricardo Big Dog Almeida. Everything else is virtually identical. Once again with the official introductions, the veteran voice of the octagon, Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this UFC bout is sponsored by BSN, the world leader in physical performance and energy supplements, and Tap Out, an expression of combat known worldwide. Season 2 gets crazier than ever, starting July 30th. And Bangkok Dangerous, starring Nicolas Cage in theaters everywhere, September 5th. And now, this fight is 3 rounds in the UFC middleweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This man is a Gracie Jiu-Jitsu fighter holding a professional record of 9 wins with 2 losses. Standing 6 feet tall, weighing in at 185 pounds, fighting out of Hamilton, New Jersey, Ricardo Big Dog Almeida. And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a boxer and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu fighter holding a professional record of 13 wins with 4 losses. He stands 5 feet 11 inches tall, weighing in at 185 pounds, fighting out of